Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for the 14th of December. All right, now we had the ECB meeting, which came and went. There's a little bit of a sell-off at the start. It was sitting around 113.80. It did dip down to around 113.30, but it has slowly made its back to pretty much be trading sideways. Now, they have sort of finished their bond purchases, but I guess the main theme was continued confidence with increased caution. I don't know what that means, but basically Euro is just trading sideways. No major Brexit news at this point, and it is the so sterling's just sort of trading sideways. I mean, there's a potential for sterling to jack up to 130. You know, if something really good happens, and that's on the cards, by the way, or it could sort of just shoot down another couple of hundred. So pretty much the rest of the majors are trading sideways. The Aussie slowly sideways but up, and same for the Kiwi, just pretty much sideways from yesterday. So there's been no major change to the overall sentiment as we go forward. Now you look at the where the action is here on the dollar side of things. Okay, the dollar index, as you'd expect, with the euro just trading sideways, pretty much keeping a pretty steady path at this point. Now dollar yen's the odd one out. It has slowly climbed above sort of 113.50, but as you can see, it's not really racing away with it. And dollar Swiss still pretty muted, but if anything, it's almost got a bit of a downward touch to it on the hourly charts. And dollar CAD is just trading sideways, and it's just trading sideways through the trend line. So I don't see any sort of major move to the downside, even if it breaks this trend line, which is sort of tweaked through. You'd expect that just to continue to trade sideways until we get something tangible to really look at. Now, just to check out the sort of major market components. Once again, the equity market's pretty flat. No major news out, no major issues, and that's left those currencies there. If anything, dollar yuan, I mean, this is an hourly chart blown up a bit, so it looks like it's going up and down, but it isn't really going anywhere in a hurry. I mean, it's doing, like, it can do a 200 or 300 points without blinking too much. And the dollar index there on the dailies, not doing a hell of a lot there either. Now, let's just have a look at flick through the major news here so you can sort of see what the major impacting components were. If we just get my pen up. So once again, as you'd expect, coming into the Asian session, ECB, Mario, I mean, this is a big thing. And so you are looking at this as the major news. Have a read through that if you've got Reuters. As I said, the main thing out of it was just that they've reduced their bond purchasing program or stopped it, which is as expected. Rates aren't going up till the end of summer, so nothing's changed there. But I think the continued confidence with increased caution, that's what probably sent the market sort of just down a bit and then slowly recovered. Other news, dollar CAD, well, it's the only pair really that has any sort of major sort of idea of direction, and it's to the top side. Okay, CAD weakness. Now it's got like different forces pulling it from one way to the other. But if I just do get up the MyFX Trading Hub, you'll see the what I'm talking about. Let me just get that page up, and here we go. Let me just move that across. Sorry. Yeah, so we are going to be making a few changes to this page. As you can see, there's a few things sort of changing, but with the, let me just come down first of all to the outlook for the pairs. As you can see, dollar CAD is the one pair still standing out with any sort of level of direction. Now, fundamentally, it's lost a fair bit of momentum, but on the daily and the weekly charts are still broken higher above those key resistance levels. The rest of the pairs here, this is why, you know, all the major pairs are sedated. They're all trading sideways, and traders will wait for fundamental drivers to kick these things in the guts. Otherwise, you just don't know what you're doing, and they could just drift around wherever. So the main focus from here is obviously trying to find out where are those key fundamental drivers. Well, we've got a couple coming out over the next 24 hours, which will definitely potentially give it a kick. Now we've got the Chinese numbers, the industrial production numbers out. Now that's going to be important for obviously dollar yuan and also the Aussie and Kiwi. So keep an eye on those as you go forward. There's a bunch of manufacturing numbers out of Europe. I'm sort of more focusing on the German flash manufacturing PMI for any sort of level of strength or weakness. If we get something there, then euro has potential to move. It's waiting for something to give it a kick. And if that doesn't work, well, then the US retail sales could be the really compelling data to really get the markets moving. Obviously, all major currency pairs in play. So that's probably the best opportunity coming up. But there's a little bit for everyone in each time zone. Now, one of the key things here, today's market conditions, well, Brexit, all that Brexit crap and the British vote, all no confidence vote and everything else, that sort of just drifted off. Now, the markets are just getting back into a bit more of a normal phase. So just keep an eye on that as we go forward. The market conditions aren't overly that bad. So that's what you need to look for. Now, one other thing I just want to run through, there's a couple of other key bits of data coming out today. Now, we do have the Tankan coming out, and that's a big number for Japan. I don't see any major impact unless these numbers, see, check the range out here for the big CapEx numbers, unless they're like hugely variant. I'm talking like 5%. Like nothing's really happening at the moment. So I can't see that doing too much. Whereas if you just come down just a touch and you get into the industrial output, retail sales figures out of China, these numbers, dollar China, or dollar yuan, or the yuan itself, as we know, is in the spotlight quite closely. So you need to be watching that very closely as you go forward through that Asian session. As I said, this is going to be an important impact for the obviously dollar yuan, but also the Aussie and Kiwi as we move forward through that. So just keep an eye on all those different variables. It can be loose, it can be very quiet. You never know what you're going to get, but you won't know unless you come down and have a bit of a look at it. Now, also, you got the, as I said, you get a range of manufacturing numbers there out of Europe. And I'm just trying to clear that screen for a second. And then the rest of the stuff there, well, you've got, so there's manufacturing numbers. The German economy is always the one I always keep an eye on, but obviously have a close look at the manufacturing service flash numbers there out of the Eurozone. And then you come into the North American session. Well, to me, the retail sales figure will be the main game, but obviously if there's any major variance in the industrial production or capacity utilization numbers, we could see the dollar kick into gear, right? So this is a good one, right, just to finish the week, because the dollar is like completely in limbo at the moment. So we're looking for these numbers for potential direction to come into the major currency pairs, and then you're really coming back to the major pairs to work out which one of these pairs is the best trading opportunity. And that's where you start connecting the dots. To me, Euro's got a pretty good setup both sides. I still think that the US fundamentals are strong and the Eurozone's weak. I still like this thing lower. Sterling is just a massive question mark. Aussie and Kiwi, well, these things have just gone to bed. I think we're going to have to wait for some really significant numbers there. So retail sales can do it. Only time will tell. All right, guys, I'll see you in the live trade zone. All the very best. Cheerio.